Federal Reserve hikes interest rates and 5 GCC central banks also increased their rates. You're watching the Daily Brief with Forbes. I'm Nadin Hssn. The Federal Reserve announced the largest interest rate hike since the turn of the century, the biggest jump in 22 years, and said it would begin trimming its bond holdings next month as part of broader effort to lower inflation. The Fed will raise the federal funds rate by 50 basis points to a target range of 0.75% to 1%. The move delivered the biggest interest rate increase since 2000, and the Fed signaled it would keep hiking at that pace over the next couple of meetings. GCC central banks increased their main interest rates after the US Federal Reserve raised its interest rate by 0.5%. The Central Bank of the UAE raised its base rate for the overnight deposit facility by 50 basis points. The Saudi Central Bank hiked its repurchase and agreement repo rate to 1.75% from 1.25%. Qatar Central Bank raised the deposit rate and repo rate by 50 basis points, each to 1.50% and 1.75%. Meanwhile, 4 of the Central Bank of Bahrain's policy interest rates were increased by 0.5%. The Central Bank of Kuwait hiked the discount rate by just 0.25% to 2% in a less hawkish stance. The stock market rallied on Wednesday after Federal Reserve raised interest rates by 0.5%. The Dow ended more than 900 points higher to close up 2.81%. The S&P 500 finished up 2.99%, while the Nasdaq gained more than 3.19%. Traders expect the Fed to continue aggressively raising interest rates in the next few months, and current market expectations are for the rate to reach 3% by end of 2022. Energy giant Shell reported its highest quarterly profits since 2008 on soaring commodity prices, fueling calls for a one-off windfall tax on oil and gas companies. Shell posted adjusted earnings of $9.1 billion for the 3 months through to the end of March. The company set plans to increase its dividend by around 4% to $0.25 per share for Q1. Brent crude futures traded at $110.64, up almost 0.39%, while West Texas futures stood at $108.02, roughly 0.20% higher. Airbus reported a Q1 net profit of $1.27 billion, more than 3 times the amount it generated during the corresponding period last year, despite geopolitical tensions and a complex economic environment. First quarter of 2022 net profit of Airbus jumped 237% from $381.7 million in Q1 2021. The $1.27 billion net profit translates to earnings per share of $1.63 during the quarter. Airbus CEO said the solid Q1 results were buoyed by the strong performance across the company's commercial, helicopter, and defense businesses. TikTok said it will start sharing ad revenue with some popular creators as the social media company announced a new program for advertisers to run ads alongside top videos on the app that is similar to YouTube creators' payment program. Creators, public figures, and media publishers with 100,000 followers or more will be eligible for the initial revenue sharing program. TikTok Pulse will launch in the US in June and expand to other markets in the fall. The mergers and acquisition activity in the MENA region surged by 11% in the first quarter of the year to $21.1 billion. The UAE led the way in the region's deal-making, accounting for nearly half of the deals that were closed in Q1 2022 as M&A activity in the Gulf state increased by 5% to $4.3 billion. NMC Healthcare's $2.25 billion sales to its creditors in March was the biggest transaction during the quarter. Let's take a look now at today's Forbes Real-Time Billionaires ranking. It tracks the daily ups and downs of the world's richest people. Our biggest winner today is Elon Musk, up $11.7 billion with a net wealth of $265.4 billion. Our second biggest winner today is Larry Page, up $4.3 billion with a net wealth of $104.6 billion. Our third place winner today is Mark Zuckerberg, up $4.3 billion with a net wealth of $79.8 billion. Check out our website and social media for all the latest billionaires news. A soccer jersey its seller said was worn by Diego Maradona when he scored his notorious Hand of God goal during the 1986 World Cup quarter-final match, sold for $9.3 million. It is the highest price yet fetched by a piece of sports memorabilia at auction, despite claims by Maradona's family that the jersey isn't authentic. I'm Nadin Hssn. This is the Daily Brief. Thanks for watching. Watch me tomorrow.